Good morning, Devin here with Ground Force Metal Detecting, and it's Metal Detecting Morning Coffee Talk. You'll notice that I had a little contact lens problem this morning. Wearing my glasses. Hope it doesn't scare you. I've got my Minelab Manticore here sitting here with me, drinking coffee, talking to my metal detector, as I often do. I wanted to give you my top tips that I can give a beginner who, or a beginner to the Manticore, all right, who maybe switched to the Manticores, having some problems. I see comments and I don't know, complaints about, hey, I upgraded to the Manticore and man, the thing is noisy all the time. I'm getting a bunch of false targets, digging and nothing's there. I just can't get this thing dialed in, okay? The number one reason that someone new to the Manticore has an issue, okay, you're probably running your sensitivity too high, okay? This machine, and I don't know why Minelab actually did this, this machine has a sensitivity that goes up on the scale to 35, all right? But look at what happens when you get up there in those high ranges of sensitivity. What happens with the Manticore is it just becomes unstable. It becomes very noisy, very just, jumpy, and a bunch of noise, ground noise, EMI. It's picking up stuff. And hey, when that display, hey, maybe you're going to hit a target, but when that display is jumping around like that, every time that number shows up, that's your metal detector using its processing power to process a target. It's using up your recovery for targets, okay? Every EMI or ground bleep that you hear, the metal detector is telling you it thinks there's a target there. Okay, it's the obstacle to your metal detecting. All right. So here's what you do. All right, when you do a factory reset on a machine. Okay, look at what the sensitivity comes up, and here's what I want you to do. All right, I want you to factory reset your machine. All right, and the way you do that is hold the power in, hold the power button. Okay, the machine will come on. It's tell you to continue to hold the power button. All right. I've just factory reset my machine. Now look at the sensitivity. Sensitivity on a factory reset. Now I'm going to get some EMI here because I'm at my house, sitting outside my house. The factory reset, look, default sensitivity comes in at 20. All right, that's where you probably want to detect. Okay, so for land detecting, I recommend all-terrain general. Okay, I mean, you could switch to others, but if you're having a problem, master the all-terrain general mode. All right, it's a great mode. It's just as deep as other modes, if not deeper, because it is not getting all that interference. All right, keep your sensitivity low. Less is more, especially on this detector. This is one metal detector where I'll tell you when you're getting EMI that your sensitivity is probably too high, and it's like on this machine, that's the first place you go, assuming that you're running in multi-IQ, which you should be on the Manticore at all times. If you're not, do a factory reset. If you've been messing with Ferris limits and you've been messing with your discrimination patterns, try doing a factory reset. I think you're going to find that the thing is back to functioning at top notch. This machine is the only metal detector I know of. It comes out of the box like optimized to detect. All right, you don't need a custom program. The custom programs that are out there are almost a factory reset. If you think about it, they're only tweaking a few little things. Beach detecting, all right? Beach detecting. Sensitivity is crucial. The best beach mode is beach low conductor, all right, for the dry sand. And if you get into wet sand and it starts acting up a little bit, switch to beach surf and seawater, okay? Beach surf and seawater for wet and in the water, and beach low conductor for dry sand, all right? Sensitivity, low, 18, 20, 21, okay? Don't crank up your sensitivity. And you're gonna find that the targets clean up. I've got like a throat thing going on. It must be, I don't know. It's metal detecting coffee throat. Anyway, low sensitivity on this machine. The other thing, Multi IQ, run Multi IQ. Okay, I told you to do a factory reset and start from there. Here. Let me set up my machine for when I detect. All right, this is what I do every time. I don't need to do it every time, but this is how I run the machine. All right, factory reset. Okay, now we're gonna go up. We're gonna go up. Turn my volume up. You do run the volume up. Okay. I'm not gonna do it now, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna turn the volume down. But I max out my volume. Okay. I just like it. Then we're gonna go up. Okay. We're gonna do all-terrain general. We're gonna go up. We're gonna noise cancel. Okay. We're gonna do a noise cancel. You can hold the button in and do a multiple noise cancel if you want. Okay. Ground balance. Here's the thing. You can ground balance or not, up to you. I also recommend ground tracking on this metal detector. One of the only metal detectors that I will recommend you use ground tracking. Don't use ground tracking if you're in a trashy park, okay? You don't use ground tracking if you've got targets every 6 inches, all right? It's gonna be all over the place with the ground. If you're in a normal area where you're detecting, hey, ground tracking, there's nothing wrong with the ground tracking on this machine. Ground tracking has a bad rap because most metal detectors, when you use ground tracking, the ground tracking adjusts too much. Okay, it adjusts too much. If you're hitting targets, it'll adjust too much. It alters your depth. It kind of hinders it a little bit. The Manticore, this is the best metal detector on the market. Okay, now you can say the Deus 2 is up there with it, and I will too. This is just a hair above, all right? This is just a hair above. And I'll say it. This is my favorite metal detector, all right? Where were we? Ground balance, okay, recovery speed. Leave it alone. Don't go down too much and don't go up too much, okay? You go to recovery speed and you think, well, lower recovery speed is gonna get me deeper. I'm gonna run it down at 1. It's gonna miss targets, okay? You're gonna miss targets. It's been demonstrated in videos right by Minelab. Okay, they recommend you run the recovery speed where they set it. Okay, you go up or down by 1, but don't go crazy with recovery speed. You don't need to on this metal detector. It is fast, believe me, it is fast, and it is already deep at recovery speed 5. Discrimination pattern, I don't touch it. Okay, Ferrous limits, I don't touch it. Ferrous tones. I sometimes like to turn my ferrous volume up, okay? So I would do a pencil here, turn my ferrous volume up. These are all optional though, okay? You don't need to do this. All right, we'll go back. Target tones, all right. It doesn't matter what target tones you use, all right? You can use the 2-region all tone here. It's still giving you all tones in 2 regions. You can just use that. Doesn't matter. You can use 1 region all tones. I personally hate having 1 tone or 2 tone or 5 tone even. I like all tones. So I leave it, all right? Now, audio theme. Audio theme is a personal preference, okay? Completely a personal preference. And here's what it is, all right? The normal audio theme is kind of like another metal detector having the audio response turned up a little bit, all right? Deep targets are amplified to be very close to the shallow targets. There's not a lot of differentiation. There's less differentiation in normal. If you go to enhanced, okay, enhanced gives you a bigger differentiation in tones between deep tones and shallow tones. Now the deep tones are going to be fainter, okay? That's the difference, right? So enhanced makes deep tones fainter, so that I guess if you train your ear, which I use, okay, I do use enhanced, and then I like rich. But the only way to know which audio theme you like is by experimenting with audio themes, okay? Now, this does not affect the depth of the metal detector. This does not affect the performance. All it affects is the sounds that are coming out, and whether your ear prefers this sound or that sound, all right? And the only way you're going to know is to play around with it. But here's the caveat to it. Once you figure out what you like, okay, once you figure out the audio theme you like, live with it, okay? That's your audio theme. Set it and forget it. Don't change audio themes 1 week to the next, all right? You want to train your brain, okay? The detecting happens, the target identification, a lot of it happens here. You want to train your brain to hear the target, all right? And to hear and learn what a coin sounds like, what garbage sounds like, what a big target sounds like, what a small target sounds like. They all have different nuances in the sound, all right? Now, here's the thing about, well, let's keep multi-IQ, we stay in that all the time. And general settings. The only thing I change in general settings is I make the numbers red, all right? So let's just say I do a factory reset here, okay? Here's me going to detect, all right? And I'm gonna, you know, I don't have the GoPro on the machine and all that here. We're drinking coffee, all right? This is how fast I do it, all right? So that's a factory reset. And you're gonna hear a bunch of noise here, okay? Because I'm gonna actually do it. So I'm gonna go to the gear. I'm gonna turn my volume up, okay? Now I'm not gonna turn my volume up for the video. I turn my volume up the whole way. All terrain general, noise cancel, okay? Ground balance, turn tracking on. Recovery speed, leave alone. Discrimination pattern, leave alone. Ferrous limits, leave alone. Ferrous volume, pencil, up to 12, back. I like one region all tones. Normal, I go to enhanced, pencil, profile rich, okay? Multi-IQ, go up to general settings, hit the gear, go down to red numbers, turn them on, and I'm detecting. That's it. That's it. I'm detecting. The only thing I change while I'm detecting is sensitivity, and it's at 20. I start at 20. I start at 20. All right. I might go up to 22. All right. Depends on my day. Depends on what I'm doing. Now, look at a 2D screen. Okay. Here's something people don't understand about the 2D screen. The shapes on the 2D screen do not have anything to do with the shape of the target. Doesn't have anything to do with whether the target's big or small or round or square or flat or ragged or jagged, or it does not have anything to do with that, okay? There are two things that the 2D screen tells you. It tells you the VDI conductivity slash, that's the same thing, all right? It tells you the conductivity, and it tells you the Ferrous property. Ferrous property can be thought of the magnetism of the target, okay? So like, that's how Ferrous properties work, okay? The property of a ferrous item is whether it sticks to a magnet or not, okay? Whether it has iron. Iron is what sticks to a magnet, okay? Yes, I know other things can stick to a magnet. I know. We don't need to talk about that. We're talking about iron, okay? Ferrous property. So wherever the blip falls left to right, okay, is the VDI. If it's a tight little dot, the machine is very certain and has a very strong and precise signal for VDI for that target. That can mean either your target is very pure, or the target is alone in the ground. It's not getting a bunch of, it's not getting like another target right next to it or anything like that. And it's the purity, all right? Up and down, okay? If your target is a tiny dot, it just means that if if it's on the line, the center line, okay, that means it is non-ferrous, and the machine is sure it's non-ferrous, and there's not it's not a mix with ferrous, or it's not a ferrous target right on top of that where it's hearing them both at the same time, okay? Where you get a blob, okay, doesn't mean that's the shape of the target. It means it says it's seeing multiple readings from that same target. It's seeing non-ferrous, but I'm also getting magnetism, or non-ferrous, but I'm getting a VDI mixture on this target. That can be a can. A can can have one VDI, all right? It can be a brand new aluminum can in the ground. Okay, it's going to have a tight little blip because it's pure. Okay, a can that's all mixed in with corrosion and, you know, aluminum oxide and just, you know, different corrosion and dirt and different things mixed in with it. That's where you're going to get the little shapes and blobs from an aluminum can, and it's not because it's bigger. Okay, a brand new coin and an aluminum can are both going to have a small little dot on the line. Different VDI, okay? A coin's going to be much higher to the right on the VDI than a can is. A can's going to be toward the left on the VDI. Aluminum, usually in the mid to low range. Now, the bigger an item is, the bigger the VDI. VDI does not tell you the material, okay? The bigger an item is, the better, the more conductivity that item can be read as, okay? The stronger the eddy currents coming off of that target when it's energized with a magnetic field. Wow, too much coffee, I think. Anyway, hopefully the takeaway here is the sensitivity on this machine, all right? Don't run it high. Don't crank up your sensitivity. Keep it reasonable. Keep it low. It's going to be a hot one here in Pennsylvania. 100 degrees today. So for Pennsylvania, that's friggin' hot. Have a great day. Talk to you next time. Thank you for watching, and swing away.